はい、いらっしゃいませ。BGM もなしで始まりました。宇推くりあのバージンギャラクティックスペースシップ2の打ち上げでございます。はーい。さっきね食ったはね、今食べました。ちゃんと食べられましたよ。なんか、ラーメン伸びても美味しくないかと思いきや、意外といい感じでございまして、すごく美味しかったです。食った重厚スキー皆さんもぜひ食べてください。幸せバター味。ポテチとコラボで、なんかポテチじゃないなこれって思ったんだけど、ポテチではないけどポテトではあって、なんかポタージュのような感じの美味しいバターポタージュラーメンって感じですね。美味しいです。うまっ。はい、ということで始めていきましょう。今日の配信はこちら。シュッ。はーい、みんな来てくれてありがとうございます。もう始まっているんですが、喋ってみてなのであれなんですがね、バージンギャラクティックという会社さんの打ち上げを見ていこうと思っています。はい。でね、なんか、いつ落とすのかリオは今よくわかってなくて、今日はもうメンタルがジェットコースターなので、一緒に見て楽しむ感じで、つまり解説が少なめっていう感じでもいいでしょうか。申し訳ない。今日はもう閉店しました。ごめんなさい。今日は閉店しましたので、はい、お願いします。明日もう一日自由に使ってあれかな。何日学のスクスタで泣いて OVA を見に行くんだろうな。OVA 見に行って泣けばいいかな。はぁ、なんか番組してますね。こんな感じで飛行機があって、母船があるんですよね。で、この母船のなんか真ん中にちっちゃいのがいるけど、これ3つの頭があるわけじゃなくて、2個の頭は飛行機で、真ん中の子だけ落ちます。なんか、これすごい活してるよね、飛行機。なんか、バグって3つコピペしましたみたいな。マイク位置。確かにマイク位置気になるな。マイク位置気になるな。でもこっちにマイクあるから。うん。代表ずれっぽい。だよね。二重に出力しないためかな。なんでつけてんだろうね。別のとこと通信するようにあるのかな。 レスエナジーって言った。なんかね、他にもね、追っかけてる人いるんですよ。はい。なので、もし気になるようであればね、他のチャンネルも見てもいいかもしれません。ちょっとみんな全然、今どんな状況か分かってないと思うので、ちょっと一旦、例のあれを見に行きますか。無音か？無音？マジで？お姉さんの声入ってなかったのか。これでいい？リア、お姉さんの声入れたつもりだった。ごめんなさい。もう今日はダメな日。いや、終了のお知らせ。薄いクリア。久しぶりやだ。
Jamil is joined by Kelly Latimer, who's logged more than 6,700 hours in her 32-year flying career.
The crew of the spaceship have a unique structure for CRM, or Crew Resource Management. The left seat pilot is the commander, and the right seater is referred to as the pilot. But the commander and the pilot have specific actions that they perform in the execution of the spaceflight. Crew resource management improves safety in operations by emphasizing effective communication, teamwork, and decision-making among the crew members, leading to enhanced situational awareness and the prevention of errors.
So Commander of Spaceship Unity today is astronaut Mike Masucci, who recently passed more than 10,000 hours of logged flight. A career that has put him in the cockpit of more than 80 different types of aircraft, including V2 and of course our very own Spaceship Unity. Mike's family comes from a small town near Avellino in the Naples area of Italy. Piloting Unity today is Nicola Pacile, one of the 5 Italians on board today. He's completed over 6,500 hours in over 150 different types of aircraft. Pacile serves for 20 years in the Italian Air Force, initially as a fighter pilot and later as an experimental test pilot. Nicola was born in Udine in the region of Friuli in northeast Italy. As you can see, our passengers today will be flown into space by some of the most accomplished and experienced pilots in the world. Now, joining our mission specialist in the cabin is our astronaut instructor and fellow Unity 22 crewmate, Colin Bennett. In his role, as this is our first dedicated research mission, he'll be calling out cabin instructions and mission phases while evaluating to continually improve our customers' experience. And of course, joining Colin in the cabin of Spaceship Unity today are incredible 3 mission specialists. First, we have Walter Villadei of the Italian Air Force, commander of the Virtute 1 mission. Colonel Villadei is a space engineer and cosmonaut that will be serving as today's mission lead. His role will be to tend to the rack-mounted payloads during the weightlessness portion of today's flight. He will also be wearing cutting-edge smart suit that will measure his biometric data and his physiological responses. Next up, we have Angelo Landolfi, who is a physician for the Italian Air Force. Lieutenant Colonel Landolfi will be conducting tests that measure cognitive performance in microgravity. He will also be activating syringe payloads from his seat that will investigate how certain liquids and solids mix in microgravity. Our third mission specialist is Pantaleone Carlucci, who is an aerospace engineer and researcher for the National Research Council. Carlucci will be wearing sensors that examine heart rate, brain function, and other human performance metrics in microgravity, and will also be conducting these experiments from his seat. All 3 are contributing to exciting research and technology development with unique experiments. Once cleared to unstrap, 2 mission specialists will likely stay seated to conduct their work, while Walter will be unstrapped, tending to experiments in the back. Now, JR, let's take a break and get an update from our crew who's on Eve and Unity.
一回ちょっとやってみたら面白いかなって今思ったんだけどさ、みんなが解説をしてそれを読むっていう。
10 checks have been accomplished and complete. We are about 8.5 minutes right now away from release.
Now, if you're just joining
日本
us,
配信でアクセス出してもらったやん。
approximately
確かに
10
ね。
minutes from the
も
moment
うそれはそうだわ。
Eve
ジャクサさん
releases
に。
Spaceship Unity, and this is based on the estimated time of
そうだね。本当だね。
arrival to the release point. So again, as JR said, timing may
6月
vary
30 日
a little,
に対
but
して
as
いい思い出
closer
が
we
ないっ
get
て
to
い
the
う意味
release
合いだった
point,
ん
the
だけ
more
ど。
accurate the estimate
確かに確かに。
becomes.
Yeah. So up until L-10, Eve is in full mothership mode, carrying spaceship Unity to altitude and providing her with electrical power, system heat, cabin pressurization, and that includes conditioned air cooled on the ground in hot summer days like today, and heated at high altitudes to keep our pilots and passengers comfortable. At L-10, spaceship Unity switches to her own battery power for avionics, that's the electrical systems on board, and control systems, and performs a series of checks, electrical checks, feather system checks, flight control checks.
そうだ、皆さん、
Unity
知らない人に
and
対
Eve
してな
have
ん
their
ですけど、
own intercom,
知
so
ってる
the
人は内緒
pilots
で
in
ね、
each vehicle are
この
coordinating with one
ロ
another
ケットの
during these
燃
checks.
料は何でしょう
Now,
か？
what's exciting about Virgin Galactic's spaceflight system is that it's powered by truly innovative tech while it also being a piloted system, being flown by some of the best and most experienced pilots in the world. And that's one of the reasons why we're able to attract the incredible team that we have. They get to pilot a spacecraft that's arguably one of the most unique vehicles in the world.
Thanks, JR. I mean, at Virgin Galactic, we believe in the power of curiosity. It is the driving force that compels us to wonder, to constantly ask questions, and to relentlessly seek the answers.
ハイブリッド、ユラジ違う。ハイブリッドだけどね。そう、ハイブリッドだって。ユラジは違う。答えバター、惜しいね。いいね。答えバター、いいね。いいね。ケロシンではないのね。ケロシンでないんですよ。そうなんです。スパチャで飛ぶ？それはリアの飛ばし方かな。この子はね、スパチャじゃないんですよ。リアは確かにスパチャで飛ぶかもしれない。
But we have an opportunity to be at the very birth of routine access to space. It's going to be transformative.
This first commercial flight is a research mission conducted by the Italian Air Force, featuring human researchers and payload experiments.
こんなに NHK 動画が白熱したの
We're
初めて
able
見
to
た。ありがと
further
う。
the technologies and the research
Further
that end up
好きだったな。ありがとう。
helping to better human life here on Earth.
クララクラお疲れ様でした。ありがとう。
Commercial spaceflight is changing what access to space means.
Release.
メタンじゃない。
This is really the beginning of the next space age.
メタンって答えねえのなんか聞かれねえのかどっちなんだろ
All of us have a part to play, and that's going to be the thing that blows the gate open to the next generation.
う。もしかして固体燃料？うん、固体燃料だね。そうだね。
So inspiring. I can't wait to see where our shared curiosity takes us next. The Italian Air Force and the National Research Council have definitely used their curiosity to fuel their exciting experiments being conducted on board today. They are using the suborbital space lab to the fullest. One of the experiments being conducted on board today is the neuroplasticity experiment. This is a passive experiment consisting of cell culture flasks containing human neural cells in cultures that will fly in the pocket of the researcher's flight suit. The experiment will test the ability to maintain stem cells in culture during suborbital flight and test the early effects of hypergravity or high G's and microgravity or low G's on neuroplasticity, which is the ability for cells to adapt to their environment. Data from this flight will be used for insight into physiology and pathology, but also be able to be used to investigate biological processes for human spaceflight future missions and to study and develop new agents for therapeutic purposes for people here on Earth. Now, this is just one of many experiments on board for this mission the crew will be looking after. And speaking of the crew, JR, can we get an update?
Yeah, so we're about 4 minutes out currently at this point, and the pilots are ensuring the spaceship is in the launch configuration after going through the various L-10 checks, confirming that all the settings are go for launch. This is also when Spaceship Unity will isolate the air supply from Eve and prime the rocket motor by opening the backup oxidizer valve. Once these actions are complete, the pilots will seek clearance from the MCC, that's shorthand for the Mission Control Center, for release. So, MCC consists of experts from various disciplines and departments across the company, and they're verifying checks with our crew every step of the way. I don't know about you all, but I can feel the anticipation building just watching the screen. I can only imagine what it would be like to be on board right now. It must be incredibly exciting.
Exciting is definitely an understatement at this point. You're just anticipating the release. I can't imagine what the crew is feeling, and they're anticipating the release and really everything that happens afterward. So maybe JR, you could give us a quick overview of the profile?
Yeah, after release, the crew lights the rocket motor, and Unity's trajectory to space begins in that horizontal release position before turning towards space. A maneuver we call the gamma
リリースした後にロケットを燃やしてブーストしてガッと上げます。そして、ふわふわふわふわと無重力になります。フェザーですね。すごい。アポジ最大の突地点。エンジンです。その後リエントリーして帰ってきて、グライド、これはグライダーの滑空するっていう意味かな。滑空してランディング着陸まで行きますと。なんかすごいことになってますね。後ろ向いてますね、これ。ふわふわしてる。
So, due to the law of conservation of momentum,
よく見るとね、この後ろの羽の向きが変わってます。まっすぐな向きで打ち上がって、ふわふわのこの今まっすぐ向いてるでしょ。これがね、上向きにこう変わりますので、着陸の時は着陸注目してください。
Our pilots use the RCS, that's a reaction control system, to hold the spaceship in that attitude, and then at the right time, the pilots will again use the RCS to continue that backflip all the way around. This prepares the vehicle for re-entry. In the feathered configuration, the vehicle presents a large area of the wing to the atmosphere, allowing our system to burn off energy while still high in the thin atmosphere. And then after re-entry, the feather is once again lowered
ツイートさせてもらいます。あ、そうだ、グッドボタン今のうちに押していってもらうととっても助かります。というのもリアの配信を伸ばすためにはグッドボタンがよく大事。あと、終わった後のコメント欄も大事です。お願いします。リア、実は、7月7日が誕生日で、7日誕生日のまでに4万人いけたらいいなって思ってるんです。なので、もしよかったら、見てください。
L-30, that's 30 seconds to release. And spaceship Unity pilots will arm the launch pylon. And once we get to that designated launch point, the mothership pilots will engage the release, setting Unity free. Meanwhile, the spaceship pilots will push forward on the stick all the way, preparing for a release. We're now approximately 20 seconds from release.
よし。さあ、あと13秒。もうだよ。早いよ。9、8、
5、
5、
3、2、1, release, release, release.
リリース、リリース、リリース。落ちたー、来たー
Ignition.
ついたーイグニッション
Trimming, that's turning,
さあ、
pulling
す
the
ごく
nose
加速
up.
しますよ。ぐんぐん加速しますよ。
And trim is set. We're now traveling at approximately Mach
うわー、
1.4.
向きが。
There's max Q, that's the
Max
maximum
Q だって。
dynamic pressure on the vehicle. Those on board are experiencing about 3 Gs at the moment.
すごい。
The trim is complete and Unity is in the vertical headed toward space.
うわ、かっこいい。
Mach 2.
おー、登ってく。角度すごっ。早っ。
Mach 2.8, rocket motor cutoff.
マッハ2ぐらい。
Amazing.
おー。燃焼終了でしょうか。
Predicted apogee today is 275,000 feet. That's 84.3 kilometers.
Incredible.
Our mission specialists have been cleared to
すごいね。
unstrap and enjoy the zero-G experience.
This is amazing.
もうここからふわ
What
ふ
you're
わタイムで
seeing
す
is
か？
Colonel Villaday going to the back to tend to the payloads that are mounted on the
ふわふわ
rack.
タイム来
You
た
can see
ー。
Landolfi and Leo starting their experiments in their seat and having, looks like, a great time, of
おー、
course.
あ、向き変わりましたね。
The feather is
Yeah,
moving, as you
この上の
can see.
機体の上のこれが
Starting
ス
that
ピなんですよ。
backflip
これこれこ
maneuver
れ
I
これこれ
spoke
これ。
of. The feather is now fully up.
Amazing. And viva la Italia!
イタリアー。国
This is
旗。
100 years for the Italian Air Force. So happy centennial to the Air Force. This is absolutely incredible.
and welcome to space, astronauts. How absolutely incredible. Benvenuto nello spazio. Congratulations to Walter, Angelo, and Leo on becoming astronauts today. And a special congratulations to our pilot, Nicola, for his first space flight. Welcome back to space, Mike and Colin. This is absolutely incredible.
Wonderful.
You can see I'm tripping over my words because I can see all the excitement here. And we've also trained our astronauts as part of our training program to, at apogee, go to the window and take a look outside. So you're seeing them take a look and really reflect and take in the view, because all of the science and all of the research that they're conducting on board is for that vehicle, for that planet that they're looking out on. It's really that science and research being invested back into this planet, and it's important for them to reflect and see where their hard work is going.
Right. We have achieved apogee at 85.1 kilometers, or 279,000 feet.
Incredible.
The pilots are currently completing the backflip maneuver, orienting the vehicle for re-entry. Now, just before 0.1 Gs, the pilots will give that return to seats call to the mission specialists. And our training team has worked this portion of the flight out so that it's very natural and intuitive for our passengers. When we talk about space travel, a lot of people know and they expect the boost portion of flight to be loud and thrilling, and of course it is. But what's interesting is that the re-entry is actually very similar. So as supersonic air flowing over our vehicle in the feathered configuration, shock waves form on top of the cabin, and those are audible to those inside. And for those of you on site here at Spaceport America watching from the ground, you should hear a double sonic boom as Spaceship Unity once again breaks the sound barrier. We're currently at Mach 2.5.
Incredible.
And just back to 1G as we begin re-entry.
And those views are just absolutely amazing.
Yes.
はい、だいたい100キロいかないぐらいまで飛んで帰ってくるというやつなんですけど、今
So
も帰ってく
for
るフェーズ
re-entry,
になっ
we're
てきてま
now
すね。
at
ここが
about
高さ
3.6
フィートで
Gs.
す。スピード
For
マイル
those
パーアワ
on
ーです
board,
マ
the crew will
ッハですね。
orient the attitude of the spaceship so that when we come out of re-entry and feather down, we'll be pointed toward spaceport. We're now subsonic and at 75,000 feet.
And the
Gatta
unique
gatta してるのかな？
part of our
このガタ
design
ガタ
is
っていうのが見れますね。
as a vehicle that can get into this feathered configuration. We're a glider, we're a rocket, we're a glider, and we're a capsule at the right phases of flight that help our unique design be safe and effective for the mission it's at.
That's right. We're at 61,000
結構
feet
出るね。
now, continuing to descend in the feathered configuration. When we get down to about 53,000 feet, the pilots will command lower of the feather again and reconfigure the vehicle back into a glider.
ここからグライダーのような感じで
The views are just so incredibly amazing all the way down, and it's just part of each phase of flight has its unique experience. It has the ability to also conduct science. Our payloads that are on the rack are conducting and recording data all the way through each phase of flight. So you get hypergravity and low gravity data and that transition in between.
The feather is almost completed, the feather down. It is now down and locked.
Those watching from Spaceport America, now's a great time to go outside. Unity will be coming into view, and you can cheer on the crew as they return to Earth. Now, the mission specialists on the flight are supported by an incredible team on the ground from both the Air Force and the Center for National Research in Italy, who designed and developed the research being conducted on board. Space-based research is an incredible capability that is being opened up by suborbital vehicles like our own spaceflight system. One of the researchers utilizing this capability to the fullest is here with us in the studio. I'm so excited. A future astronaut, a friend, and a space-based researcher, Kelly Girardi. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Okay, I gotta ask, how are you feeling having watched this incredible crew go to space today, knowing that you're gonna be
be there on a future space flight?
It's surreal, I have to say. Just the energy outside. And I've had the benefit from being on this side of the live stream for a number of Virgin Galactic space flights, including yours. And it's so special to experience that here at Spaceport America with the crew and their families and the Virgin Galactic workforce and mission control. And it's emotional. I remember during your space flight when I heard release, 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 I burst into tears, and I'm glad that my mic was off during the live cast, but it's the profundity of human spaceflight, and I'm so ready to be on the other side of this live stream.
It's incredible. I mean, this is my 6th space flight, and you probably saw I was tripping over my words. I just couldn't get it out because of the excitement.
Exactly.
And so you're on a future dedicated research mission. Could you tell us a little bit about the science that you're going to be conducting?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm flying on a dedicated research mission. I am representing my research institute, the International Institute for Astronautical Sciences, and I'm going to be doing healthcare and fluid research in space. I'll be wearing a wearable sensor system to take biometric monitoring. It's called the Astroskin. It's currently worn by astronauts on the International Space Station, but my flight will be the first time we're collecting data during the launch, re-entry, and landing phases of flight as well. And then fluid research. To help design, I'm going to be looking at how fluid behaves in a container in microgravity during flight, and that can help inform new designs for life support systems or syringe design for administering medication in space, things like that. So I'm very excited.
I can't wait.
Me too.
So what role do you see suborbital vehicles like VSS playing in future research?
Yeah, it's critical. I mean, this is a new era of access to space, and there is a tidal wave of scientific research that can benefit from this platform. You know, we've done a lot of work, a decade of work here on Earth, iterating with payloads, payload operations, technology iteration, international collaboration, parabolic flight campaigns where the aircraft takes that roller coaster profile here on Earth, where you get short bursts of microgravity. That's amazing for quickly iterating on technology, but to really validate it, you need high quality microgravity and you need longer duration exposure to microgravity. You need to be in space. And so I'm really looking forward to the availability of Virgin Galactic as a platform, not just for the scientific community, but for academia, for students, for so many. So I'm so excited to get to be a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you did not plant this question. Everyone watching should not plant this question, but Kelly, I loved your book, not necessarily rocket science.
I did not plant that question.
But part of the appeal of suborbital vehicles is really opening up the aperture of who can do science and technology. And this is just another science lab for people to utilize to further whatever field of research that they're in. Can you talk about some of the other research fields that are utilizing these kinds of capabilities, maybe even at IAS?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really multidisciplinary. It's not just space science. My colleagues come from such a wide variety of backgrounds and fields of research. I've been particularly motivated by some of my colleagues who are doing research related in space, related to the quality of human life here on Earth, human health and well-being, whether that's biomedical or pharmaceutical research, or even new ways to approach telemedicine or, you know, technical instruction for remote or extreme environments. I just think those are use cases that are so compelling and interesting to me to really use space to benefit life here on Earth.
It's absolutely amazing. And I love how you speak about this industry because you've been an advocate and a part of this industry for a while. And can you talk about what drew you to the commercial space side?
Yeah, absolutely. I have long been an evangelist for the commercial spaceflight industry, and I've really been inspired by it. I have a deeply rooted belief in the potential of this industry to open up access to space, to truly democratize access to space, certainly for science communities and for the research community like myself and the crew of Galactic 01. But I also, for civilians of all disciplines, I really do believe that the space age is a broader cultural movement and that our next giant leap will require the talents of artists, engineers, and everyone in between. Space is our shared past and our shared future, and that's why I wrote not necessarily rocket science.
Okay, well, we're going to be getting to landing soon, but I wanted to ask if you had any parting thoughts before I release you to go cheer on the crew as they return to Earth.
Yeah, just awe, excitement. I'm sure you can tell. I'm just, you know, it's amazing to be here, and just deep appreciation for all that goes into this and all that this means. I know this is the beginning of routine and regular commercial operations, but to me, it will never get old.
Thank you so much for joining us here.
I'm going to run down and welcome that crew back.
Thank you, Kelly. All right, this is just an absolutely exciting time for the research community. I mean, the excitement off of Kelly is just palpable, and I can't wait for us to be cheering her on as she does her research in science and space soon. So, let's check in with our crew on their descent back to Earth.
Absolutely. So we are just over 11,000 feet. For those of you here on site, Unity just crossed over the field and is making another circle around in the pattern. Beginning those landing approach, passing the waypoints that we've designated as part of our energy management plan. So the pilots have joined up with Chase in the pattern, and they're discussing that energy management plan. They're going to be landing today on runway 34. That means from south to north. And for those non-pilots tuning in, those numbers represent the first two numbers on a magnetic heading of the compass for the runway direction. So for example, 34 is 340 degrees. The landing gear is now down and locked. We have 3 green, which means all gear are down and locked. And we're making our final approach to the runway here at Spaceport America. We like to make left-hand turns for our approach. That's because the commander is in the left seat, and that provides the best line of sight for them as they come into the landing. Now, the runway here at Spaceport America is 12,000 feet long. That's 3.7 kilometers and 200 feet wide, or 61 meters. 1,000 feet above the runway.
もう停止してますね。本当の画面では。はい。ライブの方ではまだ飛んでます。あ、こんなとこから見られるの？
Over the threshold, that's the beginning of the runway.
こんなと
And
こ
you'll
から見
see
られ
the
るの？
pilots hold the nose up. That's a flare maneuver, all part of the energy management. Main gear touchdown. So the pilots will continue to hold the nose gear in the air as we continue to bleed off some energy as we run down the runway. And at the designated airspeeds, they will lower the nose gear as well. Nose gears down. Now, as our ground speed slows, when we reach a designated ground speed, the pilots will apply the brakes and bring the vehicle to a complete stop.
帰ってきた。おー。
All right, braking now.
おかえりなさい。
And there's wheel stop.
Oh my goodness. What a beautiful landing and a perfect way to complete our first commercial flight and our first dedicated science mission. Congratulations to everyone on board, our very own spaceship Unity, who returned to space today. We saw beautiful flying from our Eve crew, Jamil and Kelly, and brilliant work by our chase pilot, Dan Alex, all of whom are still in the air right now. Great job to you all. Now, we still have one more guest here in the studio with us, Italian Air Force Major General Maurizio Cantiello, who's the Defense Cooperation Attaché at the Embassy of Italy in Washington, D.C. Benvenuto, General. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for hosting.
Well, I just have to ask you, how are you feeling today after seeing that?
Well, it's a strong joy, a deep joy, and also a sense of achievement and gratitude for everybody making it happen. And you know, it's a particularly important moment for the Italian Air Force. With this flight, together with other things we're doing, we're progressing a lot into space capabilities, because it's very important for the Italian Air Force to be able to progress in competence and capabilities in the space domain as a key enabler of the space economy, which is very important for Italy as well. This flight was particularly important also for not only for the experiments that were very important and very different, and several experiments, but also because we are studying other ways for space access, not just vertical access, but horizontal access. And that could provide different forms of space access. And as you know, our mission is to protect and defend. So by law, Italian Air Force is responsible to defend the skies of Italy. To defend the skies, it's a very important mission. And to be able to do it, we must know well, because you cannot protect what you don't know. So for us, increasing our knowledge and our competence in this field is paramount for the defense of Italy. So we are grateful to Virgin Galactic for having us here and giving us this possibility to work together. We are grateful, of course, to the Italian National Research Council, where we work together for the experiment. And of course, we are grateful to our nations, Italy, to invest in this very important endeavor. And to this great host nation, the United States, we are very, very, very good partners and allies. So everything happening here has a profound significance for the bond, and the ties between the United States and Italy as well.
That's absolutely incredible. Is there anything you want to say to the crew, to the teams on the ground, and also to just the people in Italy watching from their homes, cheering everybody on?
Absolutely. I would like to express a deep gratitude, first of all, to God, to make it all happen. And I was a little bit concerned, not for safety, but for the health of my friends, because they were all good friends, not just the pilots, but the crew as well. So thanks for that. And also thanks to Virgin, thanks to the pilots, thanks to the team, the ground team, thanks to the specialists, and also, of course, thanks to our institution, our governmental institution. Because today we saw something which is very important. I call it like a sweet spot when you see commercial world, industry world, and then academia and the government institution. So it is very important when we work, these three areas works together. And when academia, the government, and the commercial world work in harmony and in unity, like today, miracle happens. And space too.
Absolutely. Now, I know you're going to be out there ready to greet the mission specialists as they come out of the spaceship, so I don't want to keep you, but happy centennial to the Air Force. You've had 100 years, and there's going to be 100 more. Many of them hopefully spent in space. Thank you for joining us in the studio today. Thank you.
Bye.
Incredible. Thank you to everyone on the ground here at Spaceport America who made this day possible. We cannot wait to hear about the experience from our mission specialists and to see the results of the experiments conducted on board. We will be continuing the celebration here as we await the arrival of all the other vehicles. Wherever you are on planet Earth, we thank you for watching. We'd love for you to join one of our upcoming future missions. Please join in on the celebration via social or head over to our website to learn more about this mission and how you can embark on your own journey to space. Ciao.
Ciao. 終わった。終わったー。終わった。終わりました。お疲れ様リンでした。カオドラゴン見る？別枠にする？はい。ということで、スペースシップ2の打ち上げのやつを見ました。どうでしたか？いや、ここの映像がすごく気に入りました。ちょっと見ましょうか。ここ。
Let's will engage the release.
Experiments is
これ気に入った。地球と宇宙に向かって飛んでいくこの
G's at the moment.
飛行機型の機体の
The trim is complete and
ここが
Unity
一
is
番かっ
in
こ
the
よかった
vertical
な。
headed toward space.
本当にかっこいい
Mach
ね。
2?
いいね、いいね。本当にかっこいい。いや、いいな、いいな。あとパチパチしてますね。
Mach 2.8.
はい。で、そうそう。何のやつでしょうかって言ってたと思うんですけど、ハイブリッドロケットです。
Right. Predicted apogee today is 275,000 feet. That's 84.3 kilometers.
incredible.
個体のポリーミドだったっけな。 なんかの
Our mission specialists have been cleared to unstrap and enjoy the zero-G experience.
This is amazing. What you're seeing is Colonel Villaday going to the back to tend to the payloads that are mounted on the rack. You can see Landolfi and Leo starting their experiments in their seat and having, looks like, a great time, of course.
Yep. He just crossed over the field and is making another circle around in the pattern.
Of suborbital vehicles is
really...
My colleagues come from such a wide variety of backgrounds and fields of research. I've been particularly motivated by some of my colleagues who are doing research related in space, related to the quality of human life here on Earth, human health and well-being, whether that's biomedical or pharmaceutical research, or even new ways to approach telemedicine or, you know, technical instruction for remote or extreme environments. I just think those are use cases that are so compelling and interesting to me to really use space to benefit life here on Earth.
Absolutely amazing. And I love how you speak about this industry because you've been an advocate and a part of this industry for a while. And can you talk about what drew you to the commercial space side?
Yeah, absolutely. I have long been an evangelist for the commercial spaceflight industry, and I've really been inspired by it. I have a deeply rooted belief in the potential of this industry to open up access to space, to truly democratize access to space, certainly for science communities and for the research community like myself and the crew of Galactic 01. But
って感じで、あ、雲を抜けたけど宮崎駿アニメが、あ、わかるわかるわかる。この雲がこうブブーってこう線みたいな感じになって、こう引くというかこう後引く感じね。そうなんだよね。この辺
Absolutely, it's really multidisciplinary. It's not just space science. My colleagues come from such a wide variety of backgrounds and fields of research. I've been particularly motivated by some of my colleagues who are doing research related in space, related to the quality of human life here on Earth, human health and well-being, whether that's biomedical or pharmaceutical research, or even new ways to approach telemedicine or, you know, technical instruction for remote or extreme environments. I just think those are use cases that are so compelling and interesting to me to really use space to benefit life here on Earth.
It's absolutely amazing. And I love how you speak about this industry because you've been an advocate and a part of this industry for a while. And can you talk about what drew you to the commercial space side?
Yeah, absolutely. I have long been an evangelist for the commercial spaceflight industry, and I've really been inspired by it. I have a deeply rooted belief in the potential.
ちょっと大変なので、こういうロケットと言わないか。情報が載ってるホームページに遊びに行ってみることにしました。よし。わあ。いっぱい書いてる。この時何してるかとか書いてる。スペースシップの後ろの羽が回りますとか書いてますね、ちゃんと。全部読みたかったんだけど眠たくなっちゃったし、他にもあるな。あと、ハイブリッドプロバージョンって言ってるね。はい。固体のロケットと液体のロケットの間、ハイブリッドです。固体の燃料と、液体の酸化剤かなを使って、あとは、何分後に何があるっていうの写真付きで書いてんのか、これ。おしゃれだね。で、6人の名前なんか、この2人似すぎてない？なんか目つぶった人と目開けた人みたいな。なんか違うか。なんかそんな感じで。すごいたたずまいが似てるんだけど、こっから下のこの角度とかも似てるんだけど。なんでなんだ？すごく似てるな。角度が一緒なんだよ。そうそうそう。角度同じだよね。もちろん頭もなんか似てますけど、頭だけじゃなくて、角度が同じなんだよな。なんでなんだ？面白いね。 おー。あ、すごいすごい。未来の宇宙飛行士がこんなこと言ってますって書いてる。すごい、宇宙飛行士になるんだろうね。そうだね。すごいね。こんな感じでございました。はい。楽しかったでしょうか。ここホームページがすごく良くてさ、バージンギャラクティックの。こんな感じでね、動くんですよね。ホームページが。ほら。ほら。よし。やっと動いた。凝ってるね。そうなんですよ。凝ってるんですよ、めっちゃ。背中のこれかっこいいよね。いや、これ好きなんだよね。進化する飛行機みたいな感じで。かっこいい。よいしょ。あ、これも動くのめっちゃいいじゃん。スクロール大変だけど。すごいすごいすごい。あ、すごい。いいね、いいね。この動きもかなりえぐいけどね、形。へえ、楽しかったです。ありがとうございました。で、どうしよう。分離があるんだっけ？分離見ますか？枠を分けますか？どうしましょう？枠分けたら大変なことになっちゃう。4回行動とかになっちゃう、今日。枠。どうしようか。このまま見る？みんなの意見を聞きたい。ちょっとじゃあ、偵察してくるよ、偵察。ちょっと待ってね。今動画が773本だから分けたら774本になる。考えてなかったな、それ。そういえば、そんなのあったね。このままでもいいかな？このままでもいい？またサムネ作る？それが大変なんだよね、サムネ。偵察しよう、偵察。スペース X。どこでやってるのかな？まさかな。7月7日に777、それに合わせた方がいいのでは？そんなこと考えてらんないよ。だってそれ気にしてやりたい時に配信できなかったりするのやだし。アーカイブにまだまだの中にあります。中に入れとけなきゃなのか。そうなんだよね。どうすればめんどくさいからさ。 雑談してもいいんだけどね。どうしようね。音しない。音しない。音してる？音しないだけか。どうしよう。あと同説っていうのもあって、枠変えるとね、同説が減っちゃうかもっていうのもあるんだよね。どうしようかな。音ない。なんで音ないのかな。寝ていいってこと？で、リアもおとなしのリアになる。おとなしいリアです。あ、喋るじゃん。
On Monday, June 5th, from Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Station in Florida on top of a Falcon 9 rocket. The vehicle then docked to the spacing port of the station's Harmony module on Tuesday, June 6th. The Dragon spacecraft carried more than 7,000 pounds of research hardware and supplies to the space station, including a pair of IRS or International Space Station roll-out arrays that were recently installed on a pair of spacewalks on June 9th and 15th. As it undocks and makes its way back to Earth today, it will be returning with more than 3,600 pounds of supplies and scientific experiments. Some of the scientific hardware and samples returning on the mission include grip dexterous manipulation and gravity chair used in the ESA or European Space Agency sponsored neurology experiments, grip and grasp. Grip studies how microgravity affects the manipulation of objects, while grasp provides further insight into how the central nervous system adapts to the microgravity environment. The experiments have been on the space station almost 6 years, and the final in-orbit tests were completed in early 2023. Additionally, samples from Bionutrients 2, monoclonal antibodies, and the myotones investigations are also returning to Earth for scientific analysis.
あ、OBS バグったじゃなくて、ディスコードバグっちゃった。ああ！ディスコードバグっちゃった。大丈夫かな？カーゴならこのドラゴン燃え尽きちゃうのかしら。いや、ドラゴンは全部帰ってくるよ。ドラゴンの上の部分っていうか下の部分っていうか、ここの部分は落とすけど、こっちから下のここは再回収するので、燃え尽きませんよ。大丈夫。
We are just under 10 minutes away from the final go no-go poll for undocking.
あと10分かかるって？アンドッキングから？アンドッキングに？なるほど。10分か。どうしようかな。あと10分もあるって。スヤピの流れ？寝るかじゃあ。すやー。すやー。どうしたらいいかな？枠を分けるか迷ってる。さあ、皆さんに投票してもらおう。枠を分けた方がいいと思う人はーい。あ、それこそあれじゃん、アンケートじゃん。アンケート終了して、アンケート開始。枠を、でもさ、みんなの意見聞いても仕方ないのかな？リア的にはね、分けた方が、後から見やすいんじゃないかなと思ったのね。全然ほら違うからさ、 バージンギャラクティックと、このカーゴドラゴンって。でもカーゴドラゴンを配信すると結構長いからそれもあるしな、とか思って。10分あったら枠作ってラーメン作ってバター入れられる。もうラーメン作って食べたよ。だって枠を見返すとき分けた方が見やすい。ちなみになんだけど、見返す見返すかっていうのもあって本当にてか同説すごい数いるんだけど、皆さん枠分けたら来てくれます？終わっちゃうんじゃないのかな？来てくれないんじゃないかなって心配してるんだけど、来てくれます？これ続きこれ見たいですか？めっちゃ分けるに入ってるじゃん。作業アーカイブに作業やBGMにアーカイブ使わせてもらってます。本当？ありがとう。10分なんでクリアし寝落ちしそうだし、このまま行こうぜ。それはそうなんだよな。でもリア、今作ったらもうもう次に移行してその枠で寝るだけだから変わらないよ。そっちで寝るよ。じゃあ分岐するか分けるか。よし、じゃあギャラクティックの方は終了して、よし、皆さん終わるので、こっちの枠こっちをご覧くださいするか。あ、違うの出しちゃった。こっちをご覧ください。はい。
Actions are complete. The pilots will seek clearance from the MCC. That's shorthand for the Mission Control Center.
はい、リプレイ。リプレイ、リプレイ、リプレイ。
5, 3, 2, 1, release, release, release.
Release, release, release.
Ignition.
Ignition. はい。これは
Trimming, that's turning, pulling the nose.
ゴムとかだった気がするけど前。今もそうなのかな。なんかトイミド系のやつって書いてました。マジでかっこよかったので見てほしいのでリプレイしています。
There's max Q, that's the maximum dynamic pressure on the vehicle. Those on board are experiencing about 3 Gs at the moment. The trim is complete and Unity is in the vertical headed toward space. Mach 2.
Mach 2?
Mach 2.8, rocket motor cutoff.
ここがマジかっこよかった。
Alright. Predicted apogee today is 275,000 feet. That's 84.3 kilometers.
Incredible.
Our mission specialists have been cleared to unstrap and enjoy the zero-G experience.
はい、こんな感じでしたね。
This
あと
welcome
イタ
to
リア
space astronauts. How absolutely incredible.
では、キムさんの状況。今はもうリプレイも終わるとこ。今からは別の配信を見るのだけど、とりあえず今リプレイをしているの。終わっちゃった。かっこよかったから見てほしい。
Wonderful.
You can see I'm tripping.
Achieved apogee at 85.1 kilometers.
かっこいいな、この背中の模様。
Incredible.
The pilots are currently completing the backflip maneuver orienting the
キラ
vehicle
キラしてかっ
for
こいい、
re-entry.
本当に。
Now, just before 0.1 Gs, the pilots will give that return to seats call to the mission specialists. And our training team has worked this portion of the flight out so that it's very natural and intuitive.
わあ、いいですね。
You
こん
know,
な感
when
じ
we
でし
talk
た。
about space travel, a lot of people
ほら、こんな感じ。かっこいい。
So
そして
for re-entry,
降
we're
りてき
now
て
at
to be in space. And so I'm really looking. My colleagues come from such a wide variety of
こんな
backgrounds
感
and
じでね
fields of
キラキラ
research.
キラキラ
I've been particularly motivated
Kira, kira,
by
kira.
some of my colleagues who are doing research related in space related to the quality of human life here on Earth, human health and well-being, whether that's biomedical or pharmaceutical research or for science communities and for the research community like myself and the crew of
いいですね
But I
だんだん
also
帰
for
ってき
civilians
て
of
宇
all
宙から
disciplines.
as part of our energy.
つながってんだね宇宙ってって思わん？いや最初宇宙に行った時そう思ってさ
Joined up with 200 feet
こんな
wide
色なんだけどつながってるんだって上まで行けば本当に宇宙に行けるんだぞ。かっこいい。
All right, braking now.
着陸も無事かっこいい。
1,000 feet above the runway. As we continue to bleed off some energy as we run down the runway, and at the designated airspeeds, they will lower the nose.
近い。そうだよね。近いよね。結構下ろすの後なんだ。ノーズ下ろすの。
Now, as our ground speed slows when we reach a
へえ。
designated ground speed, the pilots will apply the brakes and
かっ
bring the
こいい。
vehicle to a complete stop.
旅客機関ある。なんかね、結構そういう人間乗せること考えられてる感じするなと、全体の雰囲気も。いや、ここ好きかな。ここ。ってことで、ここと写真撮って、はい。とりあえず終了かなと思います。ありがとうございました。で、枠を作ったので、そっちに行きましょう。カーゴドラゴン見ます。皆さん、200人ぐらいいるので、来てくれますよね？絶対来てくださいよね。皆さん、皆さんを信じて、新しい枠を作りますからね。ねよろしくお願いします。では、一旦終了して、
in the potential of this industry to open up access to space, to truly democratize access to space, certainly for science communities and for the research community like myself and the crew of Galactico.
あ、なんか違うとこ行っちゃった。
Virgin Galactic.
And trim is set. We're now traveling at approximately Mach 1 point. Trimming, that's pulling the nose up. Trim is set. We're now traveling at approximately Mach 1 point at the moment.
あ、ここスピなので発信を取ります。はい、オッケー。じゃあ終わりです。ありがとうございました。そして枠の移動をします。はーい。バイバーイ。シュッ。いや、本当に良かったな、ギャラクティック。バージンギャラクティックはまだちゃんと息してるのに、バージンオービットはどこに行ったんだ。皆さんありがとうございました。おやすみなさい。またじゃあ次の枠でお会いしましょう。うすいクリアでした。バイバーイ。